which is Maro Itoje is potentially going to be done with the Saracens. Like, he's going to be done with the Saracens. We're talking about one of the most popular English rugby players, arguably of all time. One of the most successful English rugby players at a young age of all time. Shout out Nigerians over here. Um, Maro Itoje, a lock for England rugby. He is a lock for the Saracens. This man has been a two-time British and Irish Lions. He has been considered top rugby players in the world. You know, this guy is an absolute monster. But why is it happening? Well, it sounds like the Saracens are looking to, it looks like the Saracens offered him a 50% salary cut to continue playing. I don't know about you guys, but you know, hard to say, hey, look, take away half my salary, and don't worry, I'm gonna continue playing with you. Oh, also, why you're also gonna pay the other guy that same amount. Now, this is again a complex situation because there's two things that are at hand. Number one, there is offers from top 14 that are being provided to Maro Itoje. We got played by Racing 92, and we got some play by Lyon. All right. The other thing that's about this is that the Premiership Rugby is entering into a potential salary cap. I have to put the reporting on this that I found was from planetrugby.com, just so you guys know, actually a really great source outside the US. But this one is one that is big. Now, according to the reports right now, looks like Maro Itoje is making about 800,000 per year, and they were asking him to go down to 400,000. And I know the average person is gonna go like, "Oh man, I don't even make that. Inflation, money's hard, blah blah blah. You know, why are you struggling?" But again, we all have different jobs for different expectations. So you work within the element that's there. And you're talking about the RFU. And while the RFU is wealthy and Premiership Rugby exists, we know obviously there's so much constriction that is happening because there's financial issues. So from the series component, which also speaks to the fact that there is a salary cap that is looking to be put into place, this is still wild, you know, wild for them to ask of Itoje, considering all the accolades that he's already done, and that's on top of the gains that he is getting done. Yo, shout out to my boy Caleb. Speaking on Morrow is getting underpaid big time, especially for the popularity that is Caleb Jones. Much appreciated. Absolutely is. But that's the thing. So you're going 800,000 to 400,000. You're talking about teams that are playing basically, I would say, more than 18 games per season, because while their season technically goes through, you go through one rotation of a season, the next season starts within like 2-3 months. You know, so you're not getting a lot of rest time and putting a lot of miles on the body, on top of the things that added to it, which is being called for the English team, being called to the British and Irish Lions, being named World Rugby player accolades. But what's particularly interesting here is that, like I said, top 14 is calling for him. And it looks like he's calling for $1 million a year, which is, as a professional player, and we in the US especially, we see our professional players get paid, especially in the NBA, NFL, top notch. You obviously see it with football, soccer, association football itself, the numbers that are getting paid. Obviously, rugby is nowhere near either one of those, any of those sports. Even hockey is not even close to it in hockey. But $1 million a year is crazy low. But it's acceptable. It would be high within the rugby standards. I think the highest was homeboy that came out of New Zealand. What's his name? The scrum half for the 2015 team. Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting his name? Not the scrum half. I'm sorry. The the fly halfback, the fullback that played for look, I gotta look it up. Because I'm gonna feel stupid. And I know everybody knows who it is if they know. Like if you know, you know. Like I know you know. It's driving me crazy right now. It was oh my goodness. Dan Carter. Oh my goodness. I know. I should know that off the bat. Like that, it's such an honor, but sometimes you get lost in the names. But even Dan Carter, when he went to top 14, was just barely getting maybe 2 million, or maybe his whole deal was like somewhere like 4 million for his time during the top 14. So like the million a year is just barely going off. Right. It was 500,000 for basically 7 months, maybe 750,000. He was barely getting anything towards the end of his career. But like it's another exodus over to top 14, and apparently they got the money to throw around to be able to do it. And it's not going to be the first person. We've seen it with Sia Khaleesi leaving South Africa, going up to Racing 92, and obviously making an impact. But that money plays a huge game, and I wonder if we're going to see more constriction, more exits from other leagues going into top 14. It's an interesting situation. So I don't know how you guys feel on this. I think this would be a devastating loss if Maro Itoje were to end up leaving Saracens, or at least leaving the Premiership Rugby, because if they're already crumbling like that, losing major star power like that adds viewers into the game is going to be a real problem. And I know the Saracens are one of the biggest brands in Premiership Rugby. I get it, but the man is legitimately an icon, and you don't get very many of those in rugby right now. There's just simply not that many, especially in England, and in place where they're having a losing participation rate among next generation fans. So let me know what your guys' thoughts on this is. I want to know where you guys feel like the league is actually going when it comes to this situation. Is there a chance to be able to get them? Because again, we've already seen 3 major rugby clubs just completely collapse within the last year and a half. Losing major players is not going to help the situation. And the international world schedule, the World Nations Cup, is not going to help anything either. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I ain't convinced. Black out of 10.